Namaste, this is Arsenist Fire. I'm back on the way of Dharma. And today we'll be talking about the science of breath. Before we continue, please like, subscribe, and share the content. Hit the notification button to have more updates about future posts. Namaste. We continue. Are you breathing okay? Are you properly breathing? Or are you breathing from your mouth? Are you breathing from your nostrils? Are you breathing from your chest? Or are you breathing from your belly? Or are you having the yogic complete breath? These will be the questions that will be answered today. Let's go into it. Now, we've been taught very, very wrong things in our life. And this came as a result of the European programming and improper living. We are now living in a society whereby we eat very different foods as compared to what we used to in ancient times. Now we eat chocolate, something that has a certain fluid inside of it, a sugary fluid, a syrup that's a certain color, and then the coating of it is brown, of course, and then when you bite, the fluid comes out. Anyway, that's not the point of the video. What we're discussing here is the science of breath, the yogic science of breath. I'll be reviewing a book and also giving you tutorials on how to do the yogic breaths and few breathing exercises. This is by Yogi Ramacharaka, the Hindu yogic science of breath. Yogi Ramacharaka is a guy, white guy. I don't know which country he comes from, but he went to study the Oriental occult lessons and mysteries. One of the books he wrote about is the Yogi Science of Breath. There's also more books, Jnana Yoga, Raja Yoga, Hatha Yoga, and 14 lessons of occult from the Orientals. So now today we'll be covering a book, Science of Breath, the Hindu Science of Breath. Guys, I'm going through with so much enthusiasm on this video. Please pay attention because this is a very, very important subject, the subject of breath. Now let's get into it. I want you to diagnose yourself and then compare how you are breathing. Are you breathing like this? Or are you breathing like this? No, this is the same thing. We're using the upper part of our body. Are you breathing from the lower part of your body? Or are you breathing from the middle part of your body? Diagnose yourself and check yourself on how you are breathing. The proper way to breathe is the breathing from below, but it isn't compared to the yogic full breath. The yogic full breath, it involves the upper part of the lungs in general. It involves the diaphragm and your stomach. You're breathing from below. That's the most powerful because it gives your lungs full capacity to have breath. Okay. Why is so much emphasis based on breath? Have you asked yourself that? Guys, there's prana. Prana has so many other aspects. One aspect of it is ether. Okay? There's a subtle form before ether, which is called something else. But basically, prana is the progenitor of all elements and everything that you see on this planet and universe. Okay? So, why is it such an important thing to do breath work? Breath, air, is a form of prana, and air is the most closest thing to the astral aspect of prana, or maybe let's say it's the closest thing to the subtle, finer life force of prana, because you have fire, you have earth, you have water, and then you have air. Okay, these are the three things. We can agree that the earth is solid, the fire will burn you, it will burn you, it will burn you, and then the other one, which is water, it will drown you definitely. So this is the most subtle of all these. Okay, this being the most subtle is the closest thing to the life force that we call prana. It carries the most life force in it. So when we're doing breath work, we are tapping and controlling that subtle, finer life force, which is prana. So many benefits to doing this. I have developed my body just using prana, just by I'm able to push my organs back into place. I am able to open up my shoulders. I am able to build a chest, to have a perfect posture, just by doing breath work. People are improperly breathing because we were taught to breathe in a very improper way. Seeing that we're breathing in an improper way, we have less absorption of prana. That's why you see people who are tired. And having less absorption of prana and less absorption of air, your lungs then collapse. They become small. Being small, they push your organs downwards, and then you see people having a pot belly, a kumpaga. You see, and then somebody's fat. Their organs have gone out of place. Pranayama is a very powerful thing. Those Indian guys that you see in temples, there's no secret that they are doing. They are doing pranayama and mantra japa. Wake up in the morning around 4 a.m. You do Sandhya Vandanam. Sandhya Vandanam. You start with pranayama, and then you go into mantra japa and whatever spiritual practices that they do afterwards. Pranayama is the highest form of spirituality or spiritual work, because there you control the subtle aspect of energy. That's the highest art known to man. I don't know if there's something else, but currently when I go into sadhana and when I go into the shastras, the sutras, pranayama is highly regarded. So now in this book, they talk about many things like nostril versus mouth breathing. They talk about the exoteric side of breath. And then there's 4 methods of respirations, which is the high breathing. Breathing from, you see, my lungs aren't getting full capacity of the air. And there's mid breathing, the one that I showed you. And then there's low breathing, which is the most beneficial of those. The most beneficial as compared to the 2 ones that I mentioned before. And then there's the yogi complete breath, which is this one. You start by taking breath from your lower, I don't know what they call it, intestines, whatever. So you take it and then you bring it up to your diaphragm. It spreads up like a balloon, and then after spreading up, it goes up into your chest, opening the full capacity of your chest. And then you have the yogi complete breathing. It has so many benefits. It stimulates all the cells of the lungs. You get to absorb maximum absorption of air, and then in maximum absorption you get maximum prana, and then you get to do many other amazing feats. Prana is very, very powerful. And then there's a few exercises that I'll do. The first one is the Yogi Complete Breath. For this one, for all these exercises in this book, you have to stand up and actually do them. This is more like a casual conversation talking to you guys. Please bear with me. I know it can be boring listening to the air, you know. So what else? Okay, there's the yogi cleansing breath, where you cleanse your lungs and prepare for the exercises. There's the yogi nerve vitalizing breath, and then there's the yogi vocal breath, the one responsible for the chants that I do. Okay. And then there's the retained breath, which is kumbhaka. There's lung cell stimulation. There's one that stretches your ribs. There's the walking exercise, morning exercise, stimulating circulation, and the 7 minor yogi exercises. Okay. What else did I want to go and discuss about this breathwork? Phenomena of yogi psychic breathing. With the exception of instructions in the yogi rhythmic breathing, the majority of the exercise heretofore given in this book relate to the physical plane of effort, which, while highly important in itself, it is also regarded by the yogi as in the nature of affording a substantial basis for efforts on the psychic and spiritual plane. Do not, however, discard or think lightly of the physical phase of the subject, for remember that it needs a sound body to support a sound mind. Okay, this is true. If you are having a very messed up body, you can't have a good mind. You can have a good mind, but it would require somebody of great mental strength. And also that the body is the temple of the ego. Definitely, it's the temple of the ego. For those guys that like to go to the church, not church per se, to the temples, because I'm talking to Sanatanis. Those people that like going to the temples, the ones that worship the devas and deities in the temples more than they worship the acts that they do for themselves, the true self, which is the Atman. Guys, you are scamming yourself. You have to go to the Bible, because in the Bible, that's the first place where I heard that the body is a temple. So going to the temple that is outside, going there and looking for the gurus and not taking responsibility for your actions, you'll tell me later where that mentality will send you. So yeah, it talks about not neglecting the physical body, but instead taking care of it and then developing everything. The developed man is the all-round man who recognizes body, mind, and spirit and renders to each its due. Neglect of either is a mistake which must be reflected sooner or later, a debt which must be repaid with interest. Guys, there's so many miraculous feats that are being performed by yogis and the works of pranayama. Guys, I will have to go to an in-depth topic about this, but here I wanted to share with you the pranayamas in this book, the Hindu yogi science of breath. You can also inhibit pain. You can direct the circulation of your prana. You can do self-healing. When those guys of the mob beat me up, I then breathed, and then there was pain here, the top part. There was pain basically. So I was a bit swollen, I think. Swollen? Maybe. But then it was painful when I touched myself here. So maybe it's inflammation. So I inhale from the solar plexus, and then after inhaling from the solar plexus, you direct prana to the hurting place. Ah man, that thing was massaging me, man, massaging me. And then I wake up feeling better, but then I felt like my neck was twisted. But yeah, now I'm good, man. You can't even tell that I was hit by the mob. Okay, you can also heal others with your prana, and you can also influence the thought of other people just by breathing rhythmically and then thinking of somebody else. A very, very powerful thing. You can do distant healing. You can project your thoughts into people. You can form an aura. Man, these people, when I go on the streets, they want to greet me. They want to be friends with me because of the pranayama. Some tell me that I'm glowing. Anyway, we'll talk more about it on the next part of pranayama. Here we're just reviewing a book. You can recharge yourself when you are tired. You breathe from the solar plexus. You imagine your solar plexus as some astral way, and then as you breathe, you imagine energy coming through it, and then you will feel revitalized, believe it or not. And then you can also acquire mental qualities. You can develop willpower. You can build your body. You can grow a beard with pranayama. Basically, anything that you can think of, anything your mind can conceive, can be done with pranayama. You can make your body to be hard as steel, so that whenever people hit you, you have an iron shirt. They call it iron shirt in the practices of the Chinese Shaolin monk. Each and every time before they begin doing something, you have this thing that they do. It's inhaling. That's pranayama. It's manipulation of prana. And then after doing that, they've just inhaled, and then the person will take a spear into their body because the body would be strong enough. You just inhale prana, prana being a subtle form and the gross aspect behind each and everything that you see on earth and in the universe. It can take that form. And how do you make it to take that form? By use of mind, okay? Via use of mind, mind can control and instruct everything on this physical plane and mental plane. So mind is the one that makes the prana to take certain forms, to tell you that this is a wall, this is a mic stand, this is a mic. Okay, this is the mind, the memory, telling it to retain that physical shape and vibration. So having mind, you have something very superior to control even prana. You inhale something, you imagine it to behave a certain way, and then it becomes that. Okay, where attention goes, energy flows. This is the most important aspect of the mind. And then you can acquire physical qualities, you can control your emotions, you can get rid of unwanted emotions, you can transmute your reproductive energy. Man, when you do pranayama and start to do yoga, it is advised that you should not drink or eat hot stuff, meaning hot food and chilies, because you start to have a rajasic temper. When you do yoga, your appetite opens up. And then imagine having to do yoga and then eating chilies. Chilies is of a rajasic nature, meaning it has a passionate nature. It belongs to the rajas of life, not the tamas and the sattvas. It's not pure, it's not innate. It's more of a passionate thing. Rajas passionate. You understand? So eating chilies when you do yoga, man, you can't control your temper, and man, if you wanna know, go and do it. Go and do pranayama and eat chilies. You find that you can't control your sexual desires, you can't control your anger, your passion. It gets blown out of proportion. You see, you start to have cravings. You start to be irresponsible. You can stimulate your brain. Sorry, you can stimulate your brain, and then you can what else? You can gain soul consciousness. You can get universal consciousness with pranayama. You can do many other things. Many other things. We will talk more about this on another video, because now I wanted to show you the exercises, the simple exercises. Guys, I have to go now and meet you on the other side doing the exercises. Namaste.